Hello, hello, hello. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another Friday night live chat on the Growth Project podcast. My name is Cherise, and as you already know, I am forever your host. Okay, so before we get started, like usual, as you guys drop in, just let me know where you're coming from, who's here, because I can't see who's here when I'm on YouTube unless you guys comment. And I always love to connect with you guys. So, yeah, let me know. Let me just make sure all of the technology is doing its thing. And I'm gonna just let two, three people come in more before we start with tonight's topic. Let me make sure I'm streaming on Instagram. Okay, we are live on Instagram as well. So hello, 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 good night. Welcome to another Friday night chat on the Growth Project podcast. As you guys know, my name is Cherise and I am forever your host. So now we're currently live streaming on Instagram as well. So I'm gonna let you guys migrate from Instagram to over here. Come join us on YouTube. So let's get started with today's topic. Okay, so today's topic is all about redefining success and being able to live life on our own terms. Hello, beautiful. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you. I love seeing you guys here every week. Thank you guys for always joining. Okay, so let me share my screen and we're going to get started with today's topic. So today's topic is all about redefining success on our own terms or living the status quo behind and living life on our own terms. So one of the reasons why I choose this topic because I think it's been all of my topics have been playing off of each other every single week. And I feel like this one all ties in perfectly with what a lot of us struggle with at the current moment, where it's like we know what type of life we want. We know we have a purpose and we want to follow it, or we have certain things that we care for in our lives and other things that we don't care for, but yet we always find ourselves making the same decision and going after the same things that everyone has kind of told us to go after, even though we don't necessarily want those things ourselves. Another reason why I chose redefining success as well is because our current idea of success, in a lot of sense, it's very narrow, it's very limited. It doesn't actually truly speak to the vastness of success. We have just really one type of idea of what success looks like, actually, when you really think about it. We just have like one idea of what success looks like, and there isn't much space for anything else. And I really like to have a holistic view of success, because I think something that discourages us from actually, following our purpose or living life the way we want to is that we are scared that it won't measure up to the success of what everyone else's have, or we feel like it might not be met with social expectation, or maybe the things we want, yeah, it just doesn't match up in society, or we just have this one cookie cutter way of seeing success, and it's like, if I don't have a house, if I don't have a car, if I don't have these type of things, then I'm not quote unquote successful. I'm not a responsible adult. I'm not all of those things. And hopefully by the end of tonight's episode and live chat, you will have a different perspective, or a more open perspective, on what it truly means to be successful. So one of the first things that I actually want to start with is, what does success mean to you? So, for anyone who is here right now, write down below in the chat, what does success actually look like for you? And I'm very interested to hear that, because success is not supposed to be this cookie cutter thing, this one version, this box that if you don't have this, you're not successful. Again, if we're going under the premise that we're all different souls and we all have unique paths, why would success look the same for all of us? It just technically wouldn't. It wouldn't look the same for all of us. And I think that the reason why, part of why we're sold this fake version of success, is because it'll be hard for all of us to reach it, because we all have very unique paths, and um, not all of us are going to do the same things. And I think it's really important to start tapping back into what you truly want, and what are your values, and what a successful life looks like for you. And, what are the things that you feel like you need to do and accomplish and have and be before you leave this life. That is going to quote unquote determine whether or not you feel complete or whole at the end of your life, versus if you just do everything that anyone has ever told you to do, or want just the things that people have told you to want. So I think it's really important for us to define. Let me just move myself a little bit over. I think it's really important for us to be able to define what success truly means for us. Hmm. Hold on, I'm just playing. I'm just playing with the tech a little bit. I wanted to make myself bigger, but it's not happening. I want to be bigger. Let me try something else. Let me try something else. Nah, it's not working. It's all good. So, what does success look like for you? Okay, so when you look at your life, okay, when you envision your highest self, when you envision your highest self, when you envision living a life that's super fulfilled, when you envision yourself being the most fulfilled, the most aligned, the most deeply satisfied that you could imagine currently, what does that currently look like for you? And I want us to look at all of the aspects. So not just one or two. Like, let's look at this holistically. So what does this version, your highest version, most fulfilled version of you look like? What do you do on a daily basis? What do you love about your life? What does this version love about his or her life, right? And then look at what's different from that life to this life that you're currently living. I want you to also think about your values. We have to think about our values when we're trying to create the life that we want to live, and we are living on our own terms. It makes no sense to live on our own terms if we don't even know what we value, if we don't even know what we want. So when you look at the things you value, that is a clue on what success looks like for you. So for example, if you're someone who values having like a super fit body, and one of the things that is important for you is, making sure that even in your old age, you can bend down, you can run. So maybe like youthfulness is something that you value, or like flexibility, or just health in general, and you just want that, that's just part of your values. If you are currently, for example, living a life where you are working 70 hours per week, you are not eating well, you don't have time for exercise, you're not very active, you, whatever the case is, and that is your plan for the next 40 years for you to retire, what you value and what you're living right now is currently opposite. And if it's not opposite, it's not aligned. It doesn't go together. And obviously things can change, and you may not stay in the same place for 40 years, but I don't believe in leaving things too far in the future. I truly believe that everything, like, if you don't do something about it now, then you can't necessarily really say for sure that it is going to be in your future. So if you are someone who truly values your health, and you want to stay active and youthful and all of that, but you are not taking care of yourself now, you have horrible sleeping habits, you work, like, you're working yourself to the bone, and actually it's possibly causing you health issues, or you're super eating bad and it's causing you health issues, then what you value and what you want your life to be like is not actually aligning. So for example, something that I value is, I value a lot authenticity. I value following my purpose. I value thinking for myself. I value living a life that is worth it for me. You know, that's something that for me, I can't compromise on. I really want to just live life the way that I see fit, because I don't believe that anyone else can live a better life for me than myself. And I don't feel like anyone can really dictate how I should live my life, because they're not me, and they don't have my soul, and they don't know where I come from, and they don't know where I'm going, and they're not God. So they don't have any of that knowledge that I would need to know, um, that I would need for them to be able to like dictate my life and how I should live it. So that is something that is super important to me, and it's my value. So a couple of years ago, when I was, living a life that was totally not in tune with that, I was miserable. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling happy with my life. I wasn't feeling like myself. I wasn't feeling, just, I wasn't feeling like myself. I wasn't feeling happy. I wasn't feeling any of those things, because I wasn't living in a way that actually aligned with me. So, um, that is super important when we're thinking about success, because a lot of the times we are striving for success and we're striving for accomplishment in these things, but when we reach them, we don't really feel great, or we don't feel not great. We don't feel fulfilled, right? So we're just on to the next thing, and we don't actually feel like what we achieved or accomplished did anything for us. And one of the reasons, through my own reflection, that I found is because those things that we were achieving are not for us. We didn't even really want them. They're not coming from our authentic desires. They are things that we either think we need to have, believe that we need to have because people have them, or believe we need to have them because other people have told us that we need to have them. And if we don't have them, we won't be happy. And throughout my work, I see it so much where I have wonderful, wonderful souls who come to me and they are confused about their life path. They're confused about where to go next, what to do with their career, what to do with their life, like their life purpose, essentially. And one of the first things we look at is when you close your eyes and you picture yourself at your most happy and fulfilled, and more fulfilled, because happiness is a feeling that can be fleeting, it can come and can go, but just deep satisfaction, whether or not everything is perfect in your life. Like, the goal is not for everything to be perfect in your life, but when you close your eyes and you picture yourself with like deep satisfaction and just being totally like aligned where you are and feeling good where you are and just being proud of yourself, like what does that life look like? And what are the things that you're proud of? And what are the changes that you made that you're really proud of? And what does your daily life look like? And what are the achievements that really light you up? And why does this version of life feel so good? And then we look at where they are right now, and then we look at actions, behaviors, mindsets, etc., that will get us, that will bridge the gap. So it's also so important because when we do this exercise, we realize that sometimes we don't want the things that society has told us we should want. Sometimes we don't want the things that our neighbors have. Sometimes we don't want the things that our family members have. But we feel a sort of pressure to keep up with the Joneses and to, yeah, just pretend and to keep up. And even though we don't necessarily want these things, and then we turn around and we have a life that is so filled with things that we never needed, and we keep trying to fill the hole in our hearts, the hole in our souls, with things and more things and more things, and we turn around and have a cluttered life, and still within our hearts and within our souls we don't feel certain, we don't feel sure, and we don't feel fulfilled. And I'm grateful to be at this point in my life and to have this wisdom and to be able to share it, because um, I feel like a lot of elders say this. And one thing about me, I don't need to experience something to fully believe in it. I love to learn from the experiences of other people. And if 20 like elderly people have told me these same things, I'm like, I'm gonna take the value of that because they have lived a very long life. And if they can all come onto these same points where they're saying, like, I wish I would have gone after what I wanted, I wish I would have spent more time with the things that mattered and the people who mattered, I wish I didn't care as much as what people thought, I wish I didn't stay in a dead end relationship or a dead end marriage. I wish, I wish, I wish. And they're all saying these things that are all essentially around um, living your own life and living your own path, and not necessarily always caring or always taking into consideration what other people want for you and what other people think you should have. Society is based upon thought processes that other people have created, that now tells us how to live, how to be, for society to function, but it's not necessarily good. It doesn't necessarily encourage an individual path. It doesn't necessarily encourage a spiritual path. It doesn't necessarily encourage living in our purpose. It mostly encourages, you know, being a slave to the system. So, what do you value, and what does that life look like for you? This is something that I truly, truly want you guys to think about. When you envision yourself, when you envision your high self, when you envision your most fulfilled self, what does that look like? And what things and what aspects in that life can you see that are super important to you? Write it down, put it on your vision board, take photos, just write the word somewhere. And from now, we can start to see whether or not we're actually living in alignment with that. We're going to let these things be our compass. So I am just going to do this here. Okay, cute. So, what is authentic success? Actually, I actually need to show my screen. Damn, this was so cute. What is authentic success? This is authentic success, okay? So, authentic success is about living in a way that is aligned to you. It is about a success that is measured by growth, by resilience, by authenticity, by purpose, and by satisfaction in your own efforts. So it doesn't necessarily what when for success for me, when I think about what success means for me, I should have answered that question from the slide. Success to me looks like living a life that I want to live, that is designed for me by me, and I live the way that most aligned with my soul's purpose. Okay. Because I don't believe that if I come on here and I am successful in the eyes of every other person, but I don't feel successful within, I don't feel fulfilled, and I don't feel satisfied, I don't quantify that as being successful or living a successful life. To me, if you are someone who are successful by societal standards, but you are miserable, you don't know what to do with your resources, with your money, with all of this abundance you have, you feel super unfulfilled, you don't feel good, all of those things, how can we say that that is a successful person or a successful life? To me, that's just maybe that's just someone with, let's say, a lot of resources. But if you have all these things and you're successful by society standards, but you're completely miserable with your life and you're not fulfilled, to me, that is not successful. So, when it comes to success for me, it's all about growth and it's all about living in alignment with what I feel like I am here to do with my self actualization. Self actualization for me is success because to me, it signifies that you really came here and you did what you were supposed to do. You gave what you were supposed to give, and and you have your legacy. Your legacy will go forward for you. And for me, that is what a successful life is. It's a life where you feel free enough to do the things that you feel like you came here to do, and to not have to feel pressured to conform based on certain things. Hey, beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to start this. But yeah, that's for me, that's successful. I'm like, if I have all the money in the world, if I have everything that everyone deems successful, and I'm miserable at night and I'm crying at night, and I want to like not be here, I don't think that's a successful life. And I think that's why it's very important for us to truly think about what we define as success, because we are going to put all our energies into achieving things and getting there, and realizing this is not what we even wanted in the first place. So super important to do that exercise and understand, what does success look like for you? Maybe your highest version of life, or your most fulfilled version, or the one that you want to live like in the nearest future, you're like, listen, I could be totally good with, I don't know, like 150K coming in per year. And I'm living on a beach, I don't know, in Hawaii, and I'm giving surfing lessons, and like, I'm pretty good. And even if it's not 100K, I don't know, like maybe for you it's like 60K, and you're living in Hawaii and you are giving surf lessons, and like you're living your purpose, and you're living in a little village and everyone's nice to each other, and you feel part of your community, and you feel like you're doing something in your community, and that feels like a good life for you, then that is the life that you should be trying to create, and not the one where you are renting an apartment in Canada or wherever in the snow and never being like closer to that dream. I just don't see how it makes a sense to continue to put our energies towards things that we literally truly know we do not want. Low and like within. And I feel like a lot of us are just settling. We're settling for the lives that people have told us, we should live, even though we want more, even though our heart wants more, and even though we know we are capable of more. Our souls know we are capable of more. It's always whispering to us, you are capable of more. I feel like we're all just kind of like sometimes settling based on fear, and based on maybe just never seeing an example of someone who has done it before. Um, and yeah, just not wanting to fail, which is all understandable. But we have to get to a point where we ask ourselves, like, what's more important? I know I'm super morbid and I'm like always kind of talking about death because I think about death, and I was recently having a conversation like with a coworker, with a colleague, and it's just like me to bring up death in like first two conversations with someone. But I'm like, there's nothing that we know in this life for sure. That is one of my biggest philosophies is that we know nothing. There's things that we knew in 1970 science wise, and it's being proven today that it was not the case, or it's being evolved or improved upon. Or there's things that we knew before that we lost and we're now discovering now. And there's things and there's theories. But in honest truth, there is like just a couple of fundamental truths, and the rest is time will tell. Like that is it. And I feel like to live life with this kind of like open-mindedness where you're just understanding, like, listen, I don't really like, we know nothing, I know nothing, but I am willing to, take what works, leave what doesn't, and always, have a flexible not mind when presented with new information. I think it's really important to live life with that type of flexibility because we are always constantly evolving. Like life is always constantly evolving. So what we knew 50 years ago and what was true 50 years ago may not be true in this present moment. So, one of the fundamental truths for me is that one thing that we're all certain of is that we're going to die. So, I know that I am a little bit morbid and I talk about it, but it's because I'm a truth seeker, and that is one of the truths that we can all agree on, that that is going to happen. And I think that to me, it's so crazy that we all know that that is going to happen and that is a possibility, and yet not even a possibility. And what's the word? It's inevitable, and yeah, it's inevitable, and yet we live life like we're gonna live forever. Like we live life like if nothing bad could happen to us. We live life like as if time is truly just promised, and like we know we're gonna make it to 60, 70, and we feel like we have all the time in the world. And it's just not the case. It's just not the case. And I think it's just time that we have like this wake up call where it's like only now exists, and you just have to decide what's important to you now, because only now exists, and tomorrow is another now, and the day after is another now. And it's really important to choose what matters to you and choose your values, because time does sadly pass quick. And 4 years and 5 years down the road, like I said, you could see that you put in work and you worked your ass off for something that doesn't even matter to you, and that won't even matter to you when you get there. So, do you feel that the way you're living life, do you feel like the way you're living your life contributes to your highest growth and fulfillment? Do you feel like the way you're currently living life is contributing to your highest vision of yourself, to your fulfillment, to living the life that you want to live? Okay. This is a question for you to ask yourself, because with that answer, you are going to automatically know what are the things that you want to change. This was just a little quote that I like to put quotes. You guys know me. I love quotes. So hold on. Oh, why does it do this? Hmm. I see. I gotta keep it like that. Ask yourself if you're doing, always ask yourself if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. And this is the principle of Stoicism. And I absolutely, truly do believe in that 100%. Always ask yourself those questions. What you're doing today, does it lead you closer to where you want to be tomorrow? And if it's not, that should be your wake up call about what you actually want in your life. So, when we talk about redefining success and living life on our own terms, we have to talk about living life with purpose. I put here living a wholehearted life. This is a concept that I got from Brene Brown, and I absolutely love her. She's an author, podcast host, shame researcher. She's written a couple books, And I absolutely love this version of like wholeheartedness, like living life with your whole heart. I remember seeing this concept and it just making real sense to me. And at that point of my life, especially coming from a space where I was just super repressed, like super duper repressed, not listening to myself, not listening to my inner wisdom. Again, working towards things that actually didn't really mean anything for me. um, quote unquote getting the success that everyone told me that I should have, working towards all of these things, actually achieving them, but then feeling empty on the top. I was in that spot. And I remember when I, had my spiritual awakening or just discovered more spiritual aspects of myself. When I heard the term wholehearted living, I might have cried. I might have cried because I realized I wasn't living my life with my heart at all. Okay. I'm a very smart girl. um and, I've been very smart since I was young, and I've always relied on my brain. I've always, all I've gotten so much praise when I was younger based on my intelligence and everything like that, to a point where I just literally thought like I just relied on my brain. I never developed my body. And when I say develop my body, I mean like develop mind body connection. Um, Going to the gym, those type of things. I just totally overly relied on my brain. And um, what was strategic, what was logical, what made sense. And this term of living life wholeheartedly really touched me because I realized I pushed everything that I really wanted just to the side. And I was just kind of like, I did to me, like to my inner self, what everyone did to me when I was younger, and just said, like, I don't believe in you. The things that you're envisioning, the things that you're imagining will never happen, and they're not actually practical. So whatever. I basically did that to myself, where I just pushed everything to the side, and I just went with what was logical and practical. And I had my career in corporate, and I worked my way up the ladder, and I was a manager, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being a leader. But like there was still this nagging feeling, and this nagging voice, and this nagging just something there just telling me, this is not where you're supposed to be. This is not where you're supposed to be. But I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And a lot of the things that I learned during this process set me up for where I am right now. But I can always remember there was this nagging feeling just telling me, you're not where you're supposed to be. And thankfully, I listened, and I started creating what Brene Brown calls a wholehearted life. And for me, what was that was living life with more purpose. So that looked like being fucking deliberate as fuck. I think on purpose. I feel on purpose. I act on purpose. I move on purpose. That is what living a life of purpose means. For me, it's not just about like, I have this thing in my heart. It's like, no, you need to do everything on purpose until it becomes so natural for you to be embodied in your purpose. So when we're unlearning to relearn, we get a little bit discouraged because we feel like, okay, well, if this is from my authentic self, it should just be natural, and it should just come to me, and I shouldn't have to worry, and I shouldn't have to do all of this, and I shouldn't have fear, I shouldn't have to be courageous. But it's not actually the case. The case is that we haven't practiced being ourselves for a really long time, and in the beginning it is going to be a little bit weird, and we're going to be a little bit rusty, with all of these skills and talents and aspects of ourselves that we've never put forefront before. We've never developed them. We've developed like different parts of our personality that we knew would help us survive, but we didn't develop those other ones. So don't get discouraged if you are stepping up and being a leader and being a light worker during this time and doing all of these things and feeling like, why do I still have fear? Or why am I not confident? Or can I really do this? Or is this really my purpose? This doesn't tell you whether or not you have purpose, whether or not you have fear around it. It's just that you have to start practicing embodying these aspects of yourself and truly being deliberate and doing things on purpose. Speak with purpose, live with purpose, move with purpose, act with purpose. And more so, your life is going to become a purposeful life. It's going to become the life that you envision it to be because you're moving and acting so deliberately with your energy, with your gifts, with your life force, with your daily, day to day, week to week life. You have to be deliberate. You can't just sit and wish for it to happen. You have to be deliberate. You have to make choices. You have to meet your shadow and befriend it, and you have to cry, and you have to do the journaling, and you have to do the scary fucking things, because that is how you're going to, you know, get to the next level of you and truly have that success or that accomplishment or that fulfillment that you are craving. Even though you can have it right now, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. That's where we're getting. That is part of the path of getting there. So, living life with purpose. Oh, I was supposed to talk here. So I really love this one. It says your direction is more important than your speed. And listen, I'm an Aries rising. Okay. Fire risings in the building. Tab down below. You guys already know what it is. The quickest, fastest, like who here? Okay, this is me, totally me. Okay. I used to always be writing on Google. I don't know from since what age, but I'll be like, fastest way to get this degree, fastest way to make this money, fastest way to do this, um future jobs in the future, and fastest way to get there. Like me, fast is everything. Okay, I love a fucking quick fix. I love a fast life. Like I love a like I just like, because I'm willing to put in the work. Okay, I'm willing to put in the work. So I don't like shit to be slow, because some people are like okay with things being slow and deliberate and like, and going a slower pace, and that's okay, but I'm willing to put the work. So I'm just like, yo, just tell me what I need to do. Just tell me what I need to do. I'm gonna do it, but I want the fucking results. That's it. I don't care. I'm going to do it. I know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it my all, but I want the results. So I kind of do like things a little bit fast. I won't lie to you guys. It has bitten me in the ass in the past, and it has given me good results, because when I attack, like when I go after something, I literally just attack it, and I just put my whole force behind that shit because I just really want, I like to succeed, I like to accomplish it. So I'm just like, and I don't like to waste my energy. I don't like to do things for no reason without a purpose. So I just attack shit. But as I mature and as I become more spiritually mature, I do realize that, your direction is way more important than your speed. Um, because if you are going the wrong direction, and if you are not doing things that are in alignment with in alignment with your purpose, in like your values, it's like, you're going down your highway and you've taken 25 different wrong turns, and you are moving so quick that you don't take the chance to actually see where you're going, all to realize that the destination was the other way around, and now you have to double back and go all the way there. And nothing in life is ever really lost, but I truly do now value going in the direction that I want to go in versus the speed that that I need to go out. So some people will be like, hey, come do this for me, or hey, I have this job for you, or hey, come back to corporate. We're gonna offer you this amount, and it's like, to me, it's just not the direction in which I'm going. So whether or not it would like make me more successful in society or whatever, give me the salary or whatever I want, it's not the direction I'm going in. So I just see it as a diversion, like a distraction in a way. It's like, to me, it's just better to stay the course and go where I'm going, because my destination is inevitable. As soon as something starts slowing down, I'm moving to the next Aries. I love you guys. I'm trying to embody your energy. I can be so go with the flow. I go into the right direction. I need to do faster. I listen. I feel like everything has its time. I do believe though that sometimes we do deliberately slow ourselves down because we are procrastinating, and we are sometimes when we are scared of actually being successful, the fear of success, which I'm doing a podcast on, will be coming out soon. We can slow ourselves down because we don't want success to come too fast. Um, I've never had that problem. But like I said, it's not better or worse because I've gotten in trouble because of my quickness sometimes. But yeah, are you going slow because you want, like, because that's the pace that's needed, or because you are trying to be too perfect, or you're scared of putting your shit out there? If it's those two reasons, then you can pick up the pace. For example, like with these lives and with this Friday night live, like the first one, I literally decided, I think like 3 days, like I think we did the first one in January. I was just like, okay, I'm done waiting. I'm not going to like wait for this to be perfect anymore. I really wanted to have a camera. I really wanted to have like a Canon and everything like that. I've been manifesting that, and I was really waiting for it to come, for it to like start my YouTube. And I was just like 3 or 4 days in, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna do it. And now this is my third Friday night live chat. So sometimes we are slowing ourselves down just because we are scared of like what showing up will actually mean. It's just easier to be in planning mode, in preparation mode. It's easier because there is no result. There's no result when you're planning. There's no result when you're preparing. There's no result when you are thinking in your brain. But the moment you actually come on, and the moment you show up, and the moment you launch, and the moment you do, you get to see the impact or the effect. And that's what scares us sometimes. We're either scared that it will blow up and be out of our control, or that it will be crickets and it wouldn't have mattered and no one would give a fuck. And that's why we just stay in planning, preparing mode, because that is super safe, and nothing will ever happen to us if we just stay preparing and planning and making it perfect. And if you guys suffer or not suffer, but like struggle with that, I feel you. Okay. I started this journey as a recovering perfectionist. I think perfectionism, after like finding your purpose and thinking for yourself, is the number one topic on my podcast. It's like one of the top 3 topics on my podcast. I have a whole entire series on overcoming perfectionism, because I swear to you, especially as creatives and especially as women, we struggle with perfectionism a lot, and it really is the killer of a lot of our dreams. It is the killer of a lot of dreams. And it actually ties into living life on your terms, because if you're a perfectionist, or if you are always waiting for things to be perfect, or you're scared of how people are going to perceive you or receive whatever you're creating or putting out there, you're not actually living life the way you want to live it. You are still living life based on how other people may perceive you. You are actually telling yourself like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is not a good idea. What if other people laugh, right? So you're still not living life based on your values, because your perfectionism will ultimately stop you from doing anything risky, doing anything original, doing anything out there, doing anything that is too close to your heart. Because if people judge you for something that you do that comes from your heart, trust me, it hurts more, or we believe it hurts more than if we're being fake or we're just doing whatever and people judge us, we're like, whatever. But if it's like something we really care about, like when we were young and we're like so excited about something and people shitted on us or told us, like, why are you so excited? Or like, calm down, it hurts more because it literally comes from our heart. So we try to protect ourselves by not doing anything that excites us, anything that we really value. We stay in where we're good, comfortable, boring. And then we just become like shells of ourselves. Like we never take risks, we never do what we want to do, and we just become this version of ourselves that we don't like. And I am truly, truly, truly talking from experience with this. Even though I was at a point of my life where I was having accolades and people saw me as successful, I was so deep in perfectionism and literal. Listen, if you are a perfectionist, you know what I mean, deep self like hate and self criticism. You cannot be a perfectionist if you do not self criticize like a motherfucker. And trust me, I my inner voice was was my, and I actually walked around saying these words. Listen to the stupid ass words I said. And we all say this. Yeah, I'm my biggest critic. Ah, we like to say stupid shit. Like, I thought that that was something to be proud of. Literally, I went on a tangent there, but I literally thought that that was something to be proud of, that I was my biggest critic. And that is not something to be proud of. Trust me, that will lead you into deeper self, like no self trust, no self confidence, um, and a horrible relationship with yourself. You should be your biggest cheerleader. You should be your biggest encourager. You should be your best friend. Trust me, life has enough people who will judge you and criticize you. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Like, constructiveness or just, holding yourself accountable is okay and it's enough. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to call yourself like a piece of shit or dirty or whatever. You don't have to feel like you're not worthy. Um, and that's how I felt. I felt like I wasn't worthy, even though I was achieving all of these things, because in reality, I didn't even want to be there. I didn't even want to be there. Okay. So, perfectionism. If you struggle with perfectionism, I promise you, I have at least 5 episodes on my podcast that will help you get the fuck out of this unhealthy, unhealthy mental habit. I think it was Beyonce who said, like, in the song, I don't know if she actually said the quote, but she was like, perfection is a disease of a nation. I think it was in Pretty Hurts. It's like, yeah, perfection is a disease of a nation. And I truly do believe that perfectionism is a disease. And a lot of us struggle with it. You don't have to call yourself a perfectionist. Our society is based on perfectionistic principles in general. So such an unhealthy mental habit to have, and it cramps you. It cramps your growth. You cannot grow as a perfectionist. I don't care what you see people achieving. They are overworking, they will have a burnout, they're going to reach a point where none of this is going to matter anymore, because the inside your mind is a horrible place to be when you're a perfectionist. And even in your body, like your nervous system, your anxiety, like honestly I can talk about this for days, but it's just, I see no benefit in being a perfectionist. I have reached so much more further encouraging myself than I've ever went criticizing myself. I've even produced better work encouraging myself and being there for myself and being my best friend and my cheerleader than criticizing myself and telling myself it's not perfect and I need to do more and I need to work on it more. I've reached so much more farther the other way. So That's truly part of my message. And that's why it's a lot on my podcast. So I will definitely check it out. All the episodes are on YouTube or on Spotify. It's something I'm very proud of. And I am sure you're going to get value of it. You're going to kick that habit to the curb. Trust me, especially the way like it's so dangerous, I feel, perfectionism. But maybe that will be for another episode. Let me know if you guys want my perspective on that and how to overcome that, because that's something that's close to my heart. So if you do not stand for anything, if you do not stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And that is so important when we are trying to create success in our life, because truly, when you move with purpose, you actually have a guiding light. Okay, so hold on, let me just pause this and let me just gather my thoughts and drink some water, because I went on a little rant with the perfectionism. So truth is, when what your purpose does for you and what living life deliberately and on purpose and saying, no, this is how I want to live, this is what I'm doing, this is who I choose to be. What that does for you is that, one, it eliminates all distraction, because now your mind and your body and your soul can be aligned and go in one direction. Two, it gives you something to stand for, because if you are just in the world and letting society dictate what successful means like for you, you have no choice but to conform, cut off aspects of yourself that you don't want to cut off because it doesn't fit in the box that they need you to fit in. And now you just believe anything. Okay. You just believe anything you think will make you successful. Let me know if some of you guys are struggling with this right now, because seriously, this year I'm like, I'm not going to be like, unless it's for work purposes, I'm not going to be scrolling anymore, just randomly, because there's so many way, like literally information overload. Like I love TikTok, but I literally can't stay on it more than an hour, because there is so much information. It is literally information overload. There's so much information of how to be successful, or how to do one thing, or how to do the other, or how this and how that. And it makes you more confused than it actually gives you clarity. And I told myself this, and I've told people around me this. If you're not going to do anything with the information that you're learning, it's best you don't learn it. It's best you don't even listen to the video. Here is five ways to be. If you're not gonna do with it, I swear, just keep scrolling, guys. Just keep scrolling, because, or just get off the app, because the thing is that after seeing like 10 of those videos, your mind is now overwhelmed with information that you're never going to do anything with. But now your mind thinks, listen, this is how it works. Honestly, our minds is they're wonderful. It's wonderful, but it's so, oh my God, it's so, ugh. Because you learned through 4 videos about different ways to make money, your mind is now like, oh, I have the information to be rich and to be successful. So now when you are procrastinating or not doing anything, or sleeping, just lying down in bed or whatever, and you're feeling shitty about yourself, you are going to feel like, why am I feeling shitty about myself? Or, okay, no, you're not going to feel like that. You're going to say something like, my life sucks and it's my fault. Like, I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm not, like, there's so much people out there who are like doing things. I'm not doing nothing. Blah, blah, blah. If only I could do this. If only I just did that. If only I had the confidence. If only I had the money. And you just start just getting in this negative hole. And the reason why is because your brain actually thinks that it has actual information on how to be successful, and that you're just not using it. But the truth is, you don't actually have no information about being successful. The 3 videos you looked at when you were scrolling meant nothing. Okay? It meant nothing. If you didn't like take the information, write it down, go research it, you don't actually have the information that you need to be successful. That was just a video that someone created to have more followers and more viewers. The information could be good, but your mind for some reason thinks, oh no, you remember you looked at that video, you have the 3 steps. All you need to do is these 3 steps and you're going to be successful. You're not doing anything about it. You're fucking lazy. You're not fucking lazy. You're not wasting your life's potential. You didn't actually learn shit from those videos. It's dopamine. It feels good when it hits, but that's it. Okay. So that was me. Like, when I realized that, I was just like, okay, I'm going to stop learning things if I'm not going to do something with them. So I'm not going to be looking at productivity videos on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, on YouTube, if I'm not going to fucking follow the advice. I have reduced the amount of information I've taken in. So now I can be more deliberate. Like I was talking about earlier, you have to be deliberate. You cannot be on autopilot when you are trying to live your highest life, a life of success. When you're trying to achieve your goals and achieve your purpose and all of those things, you have to be deliberate. So now I'm very, very deliberate, and I'm trying to be very deliberate with how I consume media. And when I see a cool video and it has a cool idea and they told me how I can get 10K followers in 1 month, I just tell myself, oh, that's cool. That's a cool strategy. But I don't tell myself like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay, 10K followers 1 month. Okay. And then now start convincing myself that I'm like shitty when it doesn't happen. I'm like, nope, that's a cool strategy. Oh, glad it worked for her. And I move the fuck on. Okay. Let me look at some of your comments. I call it being a scroll hoe. I love that. Oh my God, I love that title. I love that. A scroll hoe. Absolutely. And it's okay to scroll, but just be totally honest with yourself and just be totally aware and just tell yourself like I might not retain any of this and that's totally okay. Like I'm not going to change my life right now just by scrolling on TikTok, but it's a cool experience. Like don't beat yourself up by thinking that okay, but like she said just do these 3 steps and if I just follow those 3 steps I would have this. Don't have that in your mind because then you're going to really feel shitty and like you're not doing something when in reality you could do the 3 steps that she said and it could still not work. But because you haven't done it, your mind feels like you're just the one wasting time and you could be totally rich if you did these 3 steps, but you're wasting time. I'm about to delete social media for a bit because I just constantly scroll looking for more and more. Absolutely. You have to be careful when you are okay. So if you're like a little neurodivergent or if you like believe you have ADHD or anything like that, and even as a perfectionist too, we call this procrastinating learning. Okay, so what this is I know I should be working on my website. I know I should be launching a video. I know that I should be putting this out in the world. But instead, I'm going to do something else that feels productive, but it's not really productive because it's not bringing me closer to this goal. But because it feels productive, it makes me feel less bad that I didn't do this. So instead of launching or putting that video out, you're gonna go clean your house, or you're gonna go do the dishes, or you're gonna clean your closet, and you're gonna feel good after it because you're like, oh, at least I cleaned my closet. But the only reason you cleaned your closet is because you did it. You were feeling resistance to doing that thing that would really push you forward. And yeah, you end up doing a thing where you procrastinate by doing something else. So sometimes procrastination doesn't always look like not doing something. It can also look like being busy. I do procrastinate learning a lot. So when I should be doing something that maybe could be a little scary and I'm a little bit feeling a way about it, I'm gonna say, let me just like Google really quickly, what does this mean? And then before you know it, I'm in a whole rabbit hole and I feel like I learned and I'm like, oh yes, this is so much better. Like, thank God I did this. But in reality, I'm just doing this to not do the other thing. So procrastinating learning, that can also be a lot with scrolling, where you're just looking for more and more, and you're just telling yourself, I just need a little bit more. Oh my God, I just need a tiny bit and then I'll be okay. And you don't need all that. You don't even need more, because sometimes when you actually go and you scroll and you Google, it makes you feel less confident in what you know, because now you're just like, holy shit, there's so much more information and I didn't take in consideration all of this. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to post this finally because I don't know what I'm talking about. When before you had a pretty clear idea of what you wanted to say, but now you just fucked it up with going for more information. So scroll hole, I freaking love the term. I'm using this from now. I'm good at controlling myself now and just stopping. Same. Like now, as soon as I like just feel a shift in my body, or I'm just like, it's been like 45 minutes, blah, I'm gonna turn it off. Like I like to consume with like deliberately, you know. Procrastinating. Yep. And that's, you have to catch yourselves in these things, because like I said, it feels good. It feels like you're productive. It feels like you just researched like what's Reiki, and now you can go talk about it. But the thing is that if you don't talk about it, if you spent 2 hours researching Reiki instead of posting that thing that you wanted to post about Reiki, if you don't go back to post, you were procrastinating. If you actually use that information, good for you. I love this. I'm folding my laundry and listening to you because you're on, but I also have to finish my website. Finish that website. What day are we? You have 5 days before it's the 1st of February. I want to see, actually, our next call, I think, should be around the 1st or the 2nd of February. Nakia, that website needs to be done by next Friday. I want you to come on this call next Friday and be like, hey guys, website done. Everyone who's here, tell Nakia we're keeping her accountable. Kiku, tell her we're keeping her accountable and that we want that website next week. Okay, we want that website next week. We want to see you saying, I was successful. I finished that website. I'm sure your website is already perfect as it is. You have a final week to put final touches on it, and then it's going out into the world. Okay, it's going out into the world. It's good enough as it is already. Love that. So, something to ask yourself as well is, if I lived life the way that, if I lived life the way I wanted, okay? If I lived life the way I wanted, if it felt right in my soul, if I made the impact that I came here to make, as imperfect as life is and my life is, would I still feel complete? And I think that's a big one, because when we think of success, and sometimes in the spiritual community, we feel like, let me know if you guys feel like that, because I've been wanting to have conversation around this, and I hope I can find a leader in this space that we can hold this type of conversation, because even me, sometimes I have thoughts about it where, you know, we have this complex where it's like Buddha, where we have to have nothing, you know, we have to have no riches to be truly spiritual and to be truly like on our purpose or whatever. And I don't necessarily feel like it has to be that way. And when I think about whether or not I'm living life the way, so I think like, if I live my life the way I wanted, if it felt good to my soul, and if I made the impact that I came here to make, would I live this life? Like, would I, when I die and I live here, would I still feel complete? And the answer is, to me, I personally think I would feel complete. No matter my earthly circumstances, I do feel that I would be complete. What do you guys feel? Do you feel that if you came here to do what you came here to do, you lived the life the way you wanted it, literally. You did everything you wanted to do, you traveled when you wanted to travel, you lived the legacy you wanted to live, you had the relationships that you wanted to have with your kids, you had the relationships you wanted to have with your peers around you, you had the impact that you wanted, even though your life had ups and downs. Would you feel complete if you lived life that way? Because for me, if I lived my life the way I wanted, I would be complete at the end and I wouldn't actually regret it. I don't feel like I would regret it. There's instances in my life that I may regret, but I don't feel I would regret my life as a whole. So this leads me to believe that a successful life is living life a little bit in that way, because it's about having a life where if you could do it again, you would do it again. Like living in a way that you would actually be proud of your life at the end of it. And I just don't see it like if you live the way that you need to, like how could you be unfulfilled or how could that be unsuccessful? So that was just my little thought on that, just a question for you guys to ask yourself, because I truly do believe that our higher selves and our souls, they know exactly what we want. We just need to get out of the way. We just need to get the hell out of the way so that it can come true to us. So, a quote by Steve Jobs that I like to use, because we have like a similar conjunction. We have Jupiter conjunct Pluto together. So he gives me sometimes like, okay, I'm not going to say that, but he says, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. And I think he said that at his commencement speech or when he was receiving some sort of award or something like that. And I actually do agree with that. Follow, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They already know what you truly want to become. So if I remember last week we were talking about getting out of the head and more into the heart. We have trouble following our heart and our soul because we're like, this is not logical. How am I going to make it? But the truth is, our heart and soul already has all of the answers and know exactly where we're going and why we decide to come here in the first place. We're just getting in our way by being too intellectual about it. Remember that our soul and our soul, our spirit, all of that, it came from beyond. Our minds were developed in this realm. So the wisdom of our soul versus what's in our mind, we have to be very, very conscious of that. Because if you truly believe in your soul and reincarnation and living past lives, you have to understand that your soul has accumulated lifetimes and lifetimes of wisdom, but your mind and your ego has only been raised in this specific time. So, the way you think and everything like that has been raised and programmed for 20, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 years versus the wisdom of your soul that has lived lifetimes. So sometimes we have to put it in perspective where I see like literally an elder versus a toddler, and we put overemphasis on the toddler and we ask the toddler to tell us what to do when we have this part of us that is infinitely more wise. So I truly do believe that, because when I do work, like when I do work with my clients and stuff like that, I remember last year I did like this inner child healing thing and session. And most people knew what they wanted to be from a very young age, or they knew how they wanted to show up. And it's only through life and through people, putting them down that they stopped actually believing in it. But once they actually start finding back themselves, it's funny how we all revert to things that we enjoyed doing when we were young, which shows me that our heart and our soul we have always been embodying our desires. Our path is unique. Each of us, our path is unique. The things that you like, Nakia, or you like, Maddie, or that you want to do, Ida, are maybe completely different than what I want to do. You, like, for example, I want to do, like, I've been feeling this freaking urge and this desire to learn. I don't even know what it's called. It's like I want to do like, okay, I see, I don't even know what it's called, but I'm getting the desire, so I really need to look into it. But it's like, dude, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even, my brain is blanking. But it has to do with like video, like creating videos and editing and doing special effects. Does anybody know what's called? My mind is blank and I don't know what it's called. Is it like design? There's something with design there, but and Photoshop and doing all of these things like edit, like being an editor for videos and stuff. Like for some reason, I want to learn that. I want to make super cool videos. I want to do those things. And maybe to my brain it's not logical and it doesn't actually see a path, and it's like, why would you want to learn this? Maybe it's going to be a waste of time, but I don't know where it could possibly lead me. But I am getting this urge. And when I talk to people, it's like, it's funny how all of the things we want to do is actually really different. But because we live in ourselves, we think that everybody else wants to do the same thing as us. And we think that our desires are not unique to us. But your truest desires are super unique to you. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was talking about like wanting to like work on planes and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, totally do it. And he was just like, yeah, but like everyone does it. And I'm like, who is everyone? Who is everyone becoming a pilot or working on planes or engineering? Like, if you have that desire, it's unique to you. So stop thinking that like, oh no, everyone wants to do this, or everyone, no, it's unique to you. There are three, I don't know how much, there is billions of people on this earth. We don't all have the same desires. Even if you guys are looking at me right now and thinking, oh yeah, I want to make YouTube videos too, still do it. Like, out of the billions people on the planet, not everyone wants to be on YouTube. Not everybody wants to be on TikTok. Not everyone wants to do this. Like, out of the billions of people on the planet, like less than 20% of them are content creators. It's just that that's what we see because those 20% decide to make content. But the reality is, most people are not making content. So you don't have to shy away from your desires, thinking whether or not it's going to work. If you have a desire to do something, have the courage to follow it. You don't know where it will lead you, and it might truly lead you exactly where you want to go. So, just love this quote. You guys know I always love putting quotes because quotes and philosophies really truly do open my perspective and they inspire me. And this is one that I truly keep. Your heart, your soul, and your intuition truly already knows what you want to become. We just have to have the courage to listen and to follow and to act on it, because and yeah, and that's where we'll see the true magic. And don't forget that you've been striving all your life and things have been so hard all your life because you've also not been in alignment and you've not been living from your heart. So sometimes we think, oh, it's going to be so hard if I do this, because you're basing it off of your past life and off of your past experiences, and you're not taking in consideration that in this instance you're going to be moving so more deliberately, so more much aligned, so much more authentically, and that your light and that your light, your antenna is going to be so much more potent and stronger as well. You're not taking that in consideration. You're just looking at your past life and saying, I don't know, it's going to be hard. So just keep that in mind when you are wanting to go forward, that what happened in the past doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen in the future. So your heart has the map, but how will you access your path if you keep denying your desires? How will you access it? How will you access the map if you won't even follow your hunches, follow your desires, follow all the things that are leading you towards your successful life. If you want to live life on your own terms, I think it would be wise to value the things that you truly find valuable, to invest in the things that you truly find valuable, to invest in yourself, right? If you want to live life on your own terms, you can't want to live life on your own terms but invest in what everyone else is telling you to invest in, or put your time and your energy in things that don't matter to you. Y'all still here with me? Let me just check on Instagram really quickly who joined. Ooh, a couple people joined over here. Okay, okay, okay. Good night, everyone. So, one of the last points that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I want to take a couple questions tonight. Okay, so if there's anything that's coming through for you guys right now, even if you feel like it has no bearing to what we're talking about, ask it. I'm going to be wrapping up and we're going to take the questions at the end. But my real last point with you guys tonight is this: don't go against the flow of life, okay? It doesn't actually make sense to go against the flow of life. So let me just come back here so I can do this. You have gifts, you have talents, and you have things that you're freaking good at, okay? Everybody does. That's the cool thing. Everybody does. If you ever think, no, nothing special about me, no. Everybody has things that they're good at, things that come easier to them than other people, things that they're natural at, and everyone has gifts. Don't go against the flow of life. I truly believe a lot of the reasons why we don't accomplish the things we want to accomplish, or the reason why we're not as successful as we want to be, or why we're not having the impact that we want to have, is because we're going against the current and the flow of life. Meaning, if you are a great communicator, okay, and you know how to talk and you like to read or whatever, and you are denying yourself your gift, you are repressing yourself, you're being shy, you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe, even if multiple people have told you you're a great communicator, when you give presentations they really understand, or for example you're a great teacher, whenever you break concepts down everybody gets it at work. If you are being shy, not believing in yourself, playing it off like, no, it's okay, everyone can do this, you are blocking yourself from your blessings. Okay? You're blocking yourself from your blessings. So I want you to look at your life right now and look at the gifts and the talents and the skills that you are currently taking for granted, God-given gifts that you are shitting on because you do not have the courage or the belief in yourself to do something with it. And then we wonder, why is life so hard? Why are things not working out for me? Well, are you using the cheat codes that you came in life with? Think about it for real. If this was a video game and this was your avatar and you had shit in your back, you came in this life with tools in your backpack, due to Dora, are you using your cheat codes? Are you using the tools that you came with to navigate this life, to access the next level, to access your blessings? Or are you just doing what everybody else is doing and not using your cheat codes? Because I'm telling y'all, once I understood this right here, life became different for me. Life became different for me. Because, like, tell me this is not logical. You want a surer shot of success? Then why wouldn't you use your strengths? Why wouldn't you use the things that would set you apart? Why wouldn't you use the things that you're good at? And why would you dim those things, or why would you use those things in ways that do not benefit you? So life, the universe is clearly giving us messages on what to use to go to our next level. But if we are going against it, it doesn't make sense. Of course, things are going to be a little bit hard because we're literally in friction and in resistance to what is natural and in flow for us. I want to make super cute fucking videos, dancing and shit. I want to make a lot of short form content and do what are they called, transitions. Okay, I want to do TikTok transitions and shit like that. And for the longest time, I stopped myself from being online and sharing my message because I couldn't do transitions versus doing what was natural for me, and then learning transitions and stuff as they come, but not stopping myself because it was more natural for me to flow and to have a transmission. Because I like to, when I speak, I channel through my podcast. That's what I learned. I would just sit down, I'll have my topic, and I'll flow. So if this was more natural to me, why was I going against it and saying, no, I'm not going to put myself out there unless I can do this perfectly edited or transition or learning all of this shit that I clearly don't need? So ask yourself, where are you not using your gifts? Where are you shitting on your gifts? Where are you saying, oh no, my gift is not that, whatever? Those were given to you by God. Please stop shitting on them. Please start using them. They are the key to your next level. And when I think about going against life, you came with stuff to help you live the authentic life that you were supposed to live, that you want to live. And these things are directly related to your success, and you have put them to the side to learn and to use and to do things that do not fulfill you and that do not put you on the path that you want to go to. I believe we all have things inside of us that are literally here to help us live the version of life that we want to live. If not, why would they here? Why are they here? What was their purpose other than the fact that they were supposed to aid us help other people? That's why we all have different strengths, and then we all have different weaknesses. So I might go seek help from this person for my weakness, and someone else will come seek help for me, or I can show them based on my strength. And this causes us to always be in community and always flow. So, where do you have abundance that you are not sharing? When you share your abundance, what comes naturally to you, what you have in surplus, what is your gift? Because remember, a gift is extra. So that means you have extra. You have to give. Where do you have abundance that you aren't letting flow or you're not sharing right now? Because that can be a space that is blocking you from reaching that next level, from reaching that authentic success that you are working towards. So use your gifts, y'all. Play your strengths. They were given to you for a reason. Some are gifts and some are skills that you have learned throughout this time here on earth. But remember, you are still unique. So your gifts plus the skills that you've learned, even if you've learned something at work and 10 other people and 20 other people have learned the same thing, when you add that thing with your unique essence and your gifts and your strengths, it becomes part of your package. It doesn't matter how much other people know how to do that thing. Like, how much teachers did we all have growing up? Yet there was that one teacher that we just all resonated with and was like the best teacher of them all. Yet they all went to school, they all learned, they all got their degree. So what made that other teacher so much more impactful and different than the others when they technically all went through the same formation? So that's what I'm saying, that your unique essence is different. So stop thinking that, okay, everyone's doing the same thing. Sharice is doing this person is doing this. No, you're going to bring something else to the table. And that is going to be part of your authentic success. So use your gifts, play your strengths. No one comes to the casino, no one comes in a card game, no one comes in a game and plays their worst hand. Everybody comes into the game and they want to play their best hand. And in this life, in this game of life, you want to put your best foot forward. And what does that look like? That looks like you using everything that you have in your favor. Use your gifts, use your skills, use your talents, use them, package them up in a way, put a price point on it, find things that are aligned with it. Use what you have in surplus to lead you to your authentic self. Life is not only about struggle. Why would you have things that come naturally easy for you if you weren't supposed to use them? Is it so hard to think that you could actually make money with the things that come naturally to you? Like I said earlier, there is a lot of aspects in life that we cannot control. So even if you were doing something that came easy to you, does that mean that you would be exempt from suffering? No. Does that mean that you would be exempt from hardship? No. It means that you would just be doing something that you loved. So you have the option. Go on this path where I'm doing something I love, where I'm living my purpose, where I'm following my authentic version of success. And on this path of life, my own unique path, I'm going to have trials, I'm going to have tribulations, I'm going to have things that are going to happen that will be out of my control. Or go the other path, the path that everyone has told me to go, that society wants me to go. I am unhappy being here. I don't like it. I'm unfulfilled. And I will have trials. And I will have tribulations. And I would have things out of my control. Which one makes sense to you? So, I had a couple of progress over perfection quotes, but we talked a little bit about it. And I think this just needs its very own session, just talking about perfectionism, since a couple of you guys have said that you struggle with perfectionism as well. But forever passion and purpose over perfection, I think one of the reasons why we're stuck on following the path of society is because we are trying to perfect this thing and just be so perfect and just be how everyone wants us to be, so that we will be safe and we will have community and we won't be outcast and we can make people proud, even though inside we're not proud of ourselves, even though inside we're miserable. For some reason we think if everyone will be happy with us, if I'm popular with everyone and everyone likes me, I'll feel good inside. And it's not the case. It's sadly not the case. You have to feel good with you. You have to feel good inside. You have to like you. And the more that you actually focus on giving yourself these things now and giving yourself the things that you think you need for people to love you, the success and everything, I feel like the more you'll actually live a successful life. If you give yourself the peace right now, if you give yourself the fulfillment right now, if you work slowly of putting things in your life that is fun and that makes you feel good, you're not only going to be worrying about hustling, 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 and then getting to the end of your life and realizing you never had fun. bring those things into your life right now. Look at your values, and if you value having close relationships and having fun and expressing your inner child and moving and flexibility, try to see how slowly and surely you can add this into your life. And this for me defines living a successful life. And when it comes to your goals, I'm going to tell you this. As long as you are walking the path, walking the journey, you are already successful. Okay? You are already successful. I think it was Napoleon Hill that says that. He's the author of Think and Grow Rich. He said, like, success is not a destination, right? Because, and another philosopher said this, I should get better at this. I'm always saying quotes. I know the quotes, I don't know who'll be saying them, but someone else said this where it's like, success is not final. And I think this is where I want to leave you guys, where it's like, success isn't final. You will reach like successful periods in your life, and it's not the end. It's not like you died when you're on the top. It's not like you're like, yay, I'm here. Success is not the end, right? And failure is not the end either. So when you see it like that, it makes being successful or having a successful version of life or being successful in society, it makes it have a different just feeling to it when you understand, damn, even if I do attain success, it's not final. It's not guaranteed to stay forever. It's not guaranteed to last. So what if you like put your whole entire being and your whole entire life into getting this one goal, and then when you get there, it lasts 2 years, and then you're just like, damn, I could have been living life while attaining this goal. And that's just a thing that I really want to leave you guys with when it comes to redefining success. Success is not a destination. I truly believe it is a way of being. Live your life in a way that you are proud to live your life with, and you're automatically successful. If you can live your life in a way where you're happy, you're fulfilled, you're good, you are automatically successful. And when it comes to your goals, if you keep if you keep on keeping on, if you, like they say, change the plan but never the goal, right? If you're innovating, if you're trying new ways, if you are impacting people, even though the small comments, I look at the comments that you guys left on my last two videos, even in my on my Instagram, my last two videos. For me, when I see those comments, it warms my heart. I am so grateful, and I take that as evidence that I am successful. I'm like, I am successful. I am already I'm already a great motivational speaker. I'm already a great transformational speaker. I'm already a YouTuber. I'm already a successful speaker because I'm like, this is evidence. Even though I feel this within myself, here is the external evidence, even pointing more to that. So define what success looks like for you. Your version of success and my version of success and your mom's version of success and your sister's versions of success and your neighbor's version of success is all different, and it's all freaking valid. There's no reason for you to be living on a street like the Stepford Wives if you don't want to live a cookie cutter life. It's time for us to truly get up and start living the lives that we want to live. And when I say get up, it doesn't mean like change your whole entire shit in a day, but actually move deliberately. If you know you don't want to be at your job anymore, start moving deliberately. Maybe start saving more. Get the cushion up. Start working on different things in your CV, start getting some, acquiring some more skills so that you can dip when it comes time to dip. Like, just move deliberately. Stop letting life happen to you and happen to life. Like, express yourself, experience life, and be an influencer of life. Influence your reality, not let everything happen to you. You don't just fall into success. You don't fall into a successful life. You have to be deliberate about living life in a way that is intentional and in a way that truly matters to you and in a way that your heart is full and wide and open and you're experiencing all that life has to offer for you and to you. So, just keep moving forward is my last message for you guys. As long as you are on the path towards the destination, because remember, the destination is not final. So as long as you're on the path, if this at this point here means that you are successful, means every step that you make here is successful because it leads to this ultimate success. So the path is so important and the progress is so important. And when you start seeing them blended as one, you understand that you are success right now. You're successful right now if you keep going to where you're going. Because if you stop, you're not going to have it. If you stop right now, you're not going to have the success that you want anyways. So the more you keep creating momentum and going and putting energy towards it, you're already successful. So that is our Friday night live chat tonight. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Give me some love below, some hearts, or whatever you guys can do on YouTube. If you have any questions, I will take a couple questions before we go. Um, if not, I will put up your homework. By the way, so I'm gonna put up your homework. Did you guys, for those of you who were here last week, did you guys look? Did you guys do your homework? Did you guys look at everything, everywhere, all at once? Let me know in the comments. Did y'all look at the movie? I'm a cool teacher. I gave you guys movie as homework. Mhm. Trying to see if I have a photo of it to remind you guys where it was, but I don't. You forgot. Do I have anyone on here who looked at the movie? Like, I'm giving you guys a free Netflix movie to, I think it's on Prime, but free Prime movie. Look at it so we can discuss it. It's like a book club, but we looked at a movie. Because it's a really good one. It's a really good one. And I think it helps us put life in so like in perspective so much. Like, I cried looking at that movie and it was just it's so good. I think it won a couple awards. It was really, really good. Check out the movie, y'all. And tell me it doesn't change your perspective. And I want to discuss it with you guys. So if you guys didn't do it, I'm gonna push it for your homework for next week. But I always like to leave you guys with something so you can screenshot if you want to. But I would definitely journal, what does my most fulfilled life look like? And who do I need to be now to be in alignment with that? That's a big one. Start looking at what your values are. Looking at, okay, if I didn't do this, do I actually want to be the CEO of this company? Do I actually want to be in the next position? Even if I do get a raise, do I actually want to actually stay here in this company? Oh, I don't want to stay in this company. Okay, so why am I putting in all of these extra hours to get this thing? Like, maybe I shouldn't. So start looking at, what does your most fulfilled life look like? Look at who you need to be now to be in alignment with that. And look at the things that you are going to stop investing your energy Look at the things that you're going to stop investing your energy on, that is taking your energy, so that you can now put it on the things that actually that you actually want to grow in your life. So take away your energy from the things that you actually don't want to see in your future, and put it on the things that you actually want to grow. And I will leave you guys with an affirmation: as long as I stay true to my authentic path, I will always win. I didn't see last week's video, but I wanted to ask how do you recommend, hold on, let me just put this like this. Come on here and put this. How do you recommend changing from the 9 to 5 to your passion full time? I feel like it's just constant grind with little benefit in the moment. That is a great question. I'm going to favorite it because I can do a whole episode on that as well. I actually have an episode, first episode on my podcast is should you leave your 9 to 5 to to do your passion? So definitely check it out after this one. But I would say, um, how do you recommend changing from your 9 to 5 to your passion full time? Have a cushion as much as possible. That is what helped me. It helped me from going crazy. Is set yourself up for success with your current job. As soon as you know this is not the life for me, this is not the 9 to 5 life for me, um do the sacrifice of sacrificing for a little bit and saving up as much as you can. That will definitely help for you to have a cushion. The second thing that I would say to that, and I think I'll do just a little, like maybe 15-minute video on it, but because right now I'm just going off my head. But the second thing I would say that could be helpful for that as well is look. I know sometimes we think about our passions as just like things that are creative, but something that I've found as well is that there is a job. How can I say? Like, almost all jobs exist. And I just think that we're not aware of it sometimes. So, for example, like in the film industry, or like I know someone who wants to, they like acting, but they never thought that they could be an actor. And I was just like, have you ever just maybe thought about being like a stunt double? Or have you ever just thought of just even just trying out being an extra to see if you like it? So sometimes what I like to tell people too is like, before you go full force and follow your passion, like see if there is maybe a position that is similar to what you want to do. See if you can apply for it. In the meantime, learn new skills and then go full time. Or it can also just give you a structure of what is needed for that passion, or for that thing that you're creating, or for that business that you want to have. So I have a lot of business knowledge and leadership knowledge because I used to work in like retail giants and big stores and companies like that, and manage teams of like, I had like at one point I think like I had like 70 people. So I used all of that. I learned a lot of emotional intelligence. I learned a lot about like conflict resolution and stuff like that. So I use that now in what I do. So I would definitely say look at everything that you've learned at your 9 to 5 and how you can incorporate it in your passion. Can you leverage what you've learned to even just put yourself in a better situation, and just like, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. But take, because when people like, sometimes they say it depends. Tell me what your passion is too, because then if you have a product or something, it could totally be different. But let me know like, what is your passion? What is your job? What is where we're going with it, so I can give you something a little bit more tailored. But definitely get yourself a cushion. Two, look at all the skills you've acquired so far and just take note of all your skills. Like, it's super important, especially when you're going into entrepreneurship. You kind of sometimes don't know where it will lead you, but your skills are something that are evergreen, and they will always, you can always use them in different ways. You can flip them and use them in different ways. So take notice of all your skills and how you could possibly leverage them in the future. Um, and start working on your passion project as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait to be perfect. Throw the ideas out there. One of the biggest mistakes that I made before like transitioning was that I had an idea in my head of how everything was going to work and how it was all going to go down, and I didn't actually test my ideas out with the public before I did them. And then when I launched and I got crickets, I got discouraged. But like for example, through learning, like my current strategy is, even when I want to do something, I test. Like I'm always polling you guys on Instagram. Do you guys want this? Which topic do you guys want? This, that, because then now I know that I am in direct service and I'm not just doing something that I think people want when they don't necessarily want it. To do, even though we want to do our passion and do what we love, I like the principle of ikage. You guys know what I'm saying. Ikigai is like the Japanese principle of finding your purpose. And what I like about it is that it intertwines what we're good at, what the world needs. And I think that's the best way to be able to do your passion full time, is that it needs to be a balance of what you feel like you're here to create and you're putting out there, but also it needs to tie into also what the world needs for it to be sustainable and be able to sustain you. um okay, you understood. Sometimes I like word vomit and I'm like, this makes sense in my head, but I don't know if it's I don't know if it's translating. Okay, so you definitely resonate. Good to know. I'd love to transition to the holistic skincare and wellness realm, but I'm scared the money is not truly there. When you say the money is not truly there, do you mean the money is not truly in the holistic skincare and wellness industry? Or are you scared that you won't have money? Because yeah, just clarify that for me. But from how I'm reading it, but I'm scared the money is not truly there, is I'm reading it as you're scared that the money is not in that industry. um so without first looking at the money, right? Why do you want to go into holistic skincare and in the holistic skincare and wellness realm? What's pushing you to go into this realm, right? Because your desire is unique, so I won't judge your desire, and I don't think you should judge your desire too by worrying whether or not money is in that industry. First, why does this make sense for you? And two, what is the opportunity that you see in this industry that you can bring? Because no matter how saturated a market is, we're all unique. So if you can bring something that's different, that's unique, that you see like, listen, no one else is doing this, or there's a huge gap here, or maybe a lot of people are making holistic skincare, but like it's not targeting this specific problem. Like why did the holistic skincare and wellness industry appeal to you in the first place? Without thinking about money, why did it appeal to you? And then what can you now bring to it? Okay. Looking up salaries and average pay for that industry compared to the job that I'm in right now. So yeah. So I would say still go with those two questions that I asked, because it really depends on what you can bring to that industry. That would, maybe the salaries you're seeing right now is based on people who doing the same things. I don't know. You have to understand that like everybody is different as well. It is. I love following natural skincare. Plus, I don't know if you follow Umi Genevieve, the astrologer, but she was saying that we're entering back into a period where wellness is going to thrive again. That we're going back into the hippie period that we were in, what is it? Was it decade? Was it the 60s or the 70s? Or something like that. We're entering back into that decade where we're all peace and love and wellness, and we're all going to be wellness. I also don't think that there's been a better time in history to have a skincare brand that is actually natural, since we're more conscious about what we're putting in our bodies. I would definitely buy products that are natural skincare, because I'm a skincare girly too. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but notice, but like, I love my skin, and I feel like I have good skin. And I feel like part of the reason is because I take care of my skin. And I'm super duper deliberate about the things that I put on my skin. I don't just buy random products like Aveeno or whatever and put on my skin. I look at the ingredients as much as possible if it can be natural. So I don't think that I think that is a perfect time to have a skincare brand, but you have to ask yourself, what are you going to bring to the market that the market needs? What are you going to bring to the world that the world needs? Um, Even though this is business, don't forget, if it is a true desire, there is something there that you can do with it. That's going to be different, that's going to be real, that's going to be something. Maybe you're helping people heal certain things. So I'm just thinking that, like, if it's for the money and the salary, you will always have that blockage. If money is one of your highest values, then your answer will probably be like, no, don't actually transition to this thing, because it's not going to give you the money that you want. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's a side hustle, but we don't do our passions just for money. Usually we do it for the feelings that it gives us. But if it's not that for you, then it might not be the thing that you want to transition to. It might just be a little side hustle that you do, or a creative project that you do until it blows up, or until you can maybe sustain yourself out of it. Not all of us have the same path, like I said, but if you want to go fully in, I would start thinking already about, what can I offer to this industry that is fresh, unique, that's totally authentic, me. Like, do you know how much times I'm on TikTok? Like, the girlies on TikTok sell the same shit, but it depends on the person. You know what I mean? And their marketing. And sometimes people just come on, they give a story, and their sales go up. So it's like, why do they sell the same things, but this person is making more money than the other? I think it's very unique to everyone's approach, their marketing, how confident they are in their business, how much they're going to put themselves out there. Like, it's more going to depend on that, versus, like, I don't know, like, just looking up the salaries. I think it's going to depend more on how much someone puts into it. 70s, yeah, 70s. So I definitely think that. I think, like, yeah, a lot of people are so much more conscious of what they're putting on their face. Like, I recently bought a product from literally an Instagram girly. It was like a glow serum, and it had like CBD and everything, and I feel good about it. I love it. I love when I put it on my skin. I feel like it works. And as much as, like, I don't put like, if it doesn't have chemicals in it, I'm so happy, like, to put it on my face and to put it all over my body. So um you might be onto something. And like I said, last thing I would say, if you're not ready, like, let's say, okay, I know everyone has different lives, right? So let's say the money is a real big thing for you and you, like, need to stay at this salary because of the lifestyle you're living. Look for employment in skincare stuff. I'm telling y'all, that is a little hack. Look for employment at a skincare brand. Look for employment in holistic skincare. I don't know, like, what I don't know all the jobs that exist, but maybe instead of thinking right away about transitioning, see if there's a way that you can get into the industry and keep your paycheck if you really do need to keep your paycheck. But that's what I have to say about that. It is a grind though. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's definitely going to be a grind, especially in the beginning. Um, for sure. That's why I talk a lot about purpose and I talk a lot about, you know, having things that fuel you behind that, because if not, you're not going to keep up with it, or you're not going to stick with it. And I'm all about sticking with the things we start, because destination success, destination journey is the same place. So thank you for that question. I might make a little video on it. So if there's no other questions, my beautifuls, I will leave you guys. Thank you guys for coming on and staying on with me. And I will see you next week. I have a little announcement next week, so make sure to be here and look at your movie and affirm that as long as you are on the path, as long as you stay true to your authentic path, you can't lose, okay? You'll always win. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next week. Bye.